We're in.
Got
Welcome to the podcast, the Godcraft.
Right.
We call it the Godcraft.
That's
Godcraft.
right. Part class.
No. I was going to say the Godcraft.
God class.
Come on.
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
Three wise men again. Adriano, Stoney Pebbles. We were just starting the conversation and we were trying to keep things as organic as possible. And my man Justin just asked me, have we ever played the video game Dig Dug? And I was like, yeah. And the reason why I remembered is because in Baltimore, we don't say the word dog. You know, when we see the word dog, we say the word Doug. So we go places, we say, well, give me a hot dog. Or like, man, you better get your Doug. So you go other places, like, what the hell? You know, so when you say dig dug, dug to me doesn't mean a shovel. Dug to me is something that barks at you. Okay?
Word.
Dog.
Yes, sir. So without any further.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out quickly to all the people watching at home. Thank you, everyone, the community. God bless you all. This is the beginning stages, always developing, always progressing, but appreciate you all being here and listening. God bless you.
Yes. And if you guys are with your friends watching this, we're gonna take maybe 10 seconds out of all of our presentations to do a moment of silence. We can give out 3 Can You Dig It's. So if we can, count to 3. Can I get 3 Can You Dig It's? 1, 2, 3. Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it? Can you dig
That's
it?
Right. Can you dig it?
Good.
Saging up the place. Can you dig it?
Without further ado, we've introduced another member of our team, one of our wise men. His name is Justin Mallory. I call him Justice because we got some things we got to work out. And I met Justin in Atlanta. And the best way we can get into it is, Justin, please just start talking. And
all right.
Start talking, brother.
Peace to everyone. I'm Justin Jungle Just, Big Just Bus. If you know me as Stoney Pebbles, many incarnations, Apple Stem Slim, Bunchy Slauson, Taka Pop Off. All of these incarnations I've made. I live by AJ. It's called ambiguous juxtaposition, and learning to get in where you fit and wiggle in this whole thing.
Please say what that means, because for the people out there, of course I know what that means, but there's other people out here who don't know what that means. Can you please explain what that means? Not for me, because of course I know what it means, just for the other people.
That's hollering out to the people in the many incarnations in the 50 decades that I've been roaming around this planet. I've reinvented myself several different times, and those are all monikers that were given to me for a particular situation I was wiggling in at that time. So those are all my attributes and the different names that I've had. And when I said that, whoever is out there, they will know me as those when I was those. I'm writing a book of memoirs.
Dig it.
Yeah, but me, I'm a Black skateboarder from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I come from a bunch of gangbanging activities from my mom to my dad. I escaped it with skateboarding, went to Harlem, took it to Hollywood, figured out, got knowledge of self, and I'm in Atlanta with my wife now, living a life. We met Santana, and through the Killer Priest podcast, I have one of my skateboarding homeboys that's on there. Him and Rasul had a back and forth. So I contacted them originally because in 2018, I had a motorcycle wreck and I'm fighting paralysis. And he was doing a demonstration of a Tesla coil, which I know was something that I've been learning throughout this whole thing it's a learning experience. I got a crazy story, and let's get it started. Let's get it on. Let's get it popping.
Okay, so now I want to just mention something really, really quickly, because the timing of all this, I think right now is pretty important. There was a gentleman in Ohio, New Year's Day. He was standing on his porch. He was inside of his house. Inside of his property. He has a 6-foot privacy fence, and everything is closed. And he does what most Americans, everybody who I know, for New Year's, we shoot our guns up in the air, right?
Waste ammo.
Right, but he did that, and as a result of that, a police officer stood outside of his fence and murdered him, standing right next to his wife, and they had no idea what happened because they was on their property at their house, just shooting in the air like everyone else is, and the police outside the fence said shots fired and killed this man in front of his wife. So this is what I woke up to 2 days ago, and we were supposed to discuss your situation and how you came upon that. But I want them to know that there's a YouTube video out there, and we're going to play parts of it where Justin explains that he was arrested illegally. Justin, do you have that video? Do you want to play that now? The video that you were arrested illegally, or do you want to get into how you got your training? Okay.
Here we go. This is the video.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Justin Mallory, professional street artist, skateboarder, and musical creator. Justin Mallory enjoyed a successful skateboarding career throughout the 1990s in Los Angeles, California, which led to many professional stunt gigs and appearances in music videos from national recording artists.
Holla at a player! Holla at a player! Holla at a player when you see me on the street track! Yeah!
Justin retired from professional skating in 2000 and moved to Atlanta, Georgia with his mother and grandparents. Shortly after the move to Atlanta, Justin's grandfather suffered a stroke and was in need of skilled aids. After seeing the need, Justin's interest and passion for the medical field began to grow. In 2001, Justin began medical training and became a certified medical assistant, phlebotomist, and x-ray technician. After graduating, Justin's first assignment was with the U.S. Marshal Service, which catapulted his career to new heights. Over the next 15 years, Justin worked in emergency rooms of various hospitals and specialty clinics throughout Georgia. One of Justin's most notable and fulfilling successes was with a team of medical professionals evacuating convalescent centers during Hurricane Katrina. They transported residents to safe havens in Atlanta and various cities in Texas. Justin's career and personal life flourished throughout the 2000s. And in 2008, he was blessed with a beautiful daughter. Life was good, but all that came to a crashing halt on one infamous day. January 9th, 2011, snowpocalypse. Many will remember that day in Atlanta where everything stopped. On the first day that the snow and ice began to melt, Justin loaded his dog into his truck and set off to assist a friend that had been stranded. Unbeknownst to Justin, his friend left his backpack in Justin's truck once he was dropped off. On the way back to his house, Justin slid on ice and went through a traffic intersection, drawing the attention of the Atlanta Police Department. Justin's car and the contents of his car were searched, and in his friend's bag, a substance that was wrongly identified as methamphetamine. Justin subsequently was arrested for trafficking drugs and spent 65 days in jail. After 2 weeks in jail, Justin was made aware that he was being accused of possessing 2 ounces of methamphetamines, which carries a minimum sentence of 10 years per ounce. At this time, the grand jury offered a plea deal of 25 years and will be out in 20. For the duration of Justin's time in jail, he was subjected to horrendous acts of violence and deplorable conditions. He experienced all of this knowing that he was never in possession of any drugs. Making matters worse, during the first few weeks of his detainment, Justin was unable to make any contact with friends or family. As a result, Justin lost his car, apartment, pets, and all of his worldly possessions. Soon after, Justin lost his job as a result of his employer conducting an online search and seeing the drug trafficking charge. After 65 days in jail and multiple tests of the alleged controlled substance, the result of the GBI report came back as not a controlled substance. Justin spent 65 days in jail for frankincense.
So their test showed that this was meth?
Meth.
This is incense.
This is incense. They're doing these drug testing kits and they're high-fiving each other and they're like, we got them. I just know I'm here for traffic. And they're talking about the drug dealer. So I'm thinking it's the guy next to me or this guy is the drug dealer that they got. And then I find out they're talking about me. And it was like I got kicked in the head by a horse.
The fallout from the wrongful arrest left Justin homeless, jobless, penniless, and without a vehicle. Justin resorted to living on his ex-girlfriend's couch and eventually squatted with a friend in an abandoned building.
Is it possible that maybe it's law enforcement officers who aren't reading the color properly?
The cop could be colorblind.
Atlanta police said the color on a field test convinced them Justin Mallory was trafficking meth. The substances they found in his car were actually incense and baking ingredients left by a friend he was helping to deliver vegan donuts.
I ain't got no drugs or nothing in there, I just had donuts.
Mallory would spend a frightening month inside the Fulton County Jail before he could get a bond. The GBI crime lab ultimately determined he had nothing illegal.
Messing up a lot of people's lives, causing chaos, havoc and destruction when it could be, the thing is just prove it what it is.
After bonding out on erroneous drug trafficking charges, Justin retained the services of attorney Matthew Gebhardt in order to regain his career and livelihood. It was then that Justin and his attorney began the process of suing the Atlanta Police Department and the makers of the drug testing kit, Shershey Inc., for $2 million. The first order of business was to expunge the charges from Justin's records so he could return to work in the medical industry. But once the fees were paid for expungement, they found out that expunging a record only includes adding the word expunged to the erroneous charges. It physically left the charge on record. Because of the charges still listed on Justin's record, he was unable to continue working in the medical industry as Justin's employer conducted an internal review and decided to terminate his employment despite being exonerated and the charges expunged. As a result, Justin was unable to find employment in his field for 4 years. In addition, the lawsuit with the Atlanta Police Department for wrongful arrest was dismissed with no favorable outcome. Justice did not prevail.
Yeah, so these folks are innocent victims. In many cases, they lost a lot. Are they going to be compensated for this?
People think that they should, especially on my social media accounts.
Yeah.
They think that these guys are going to, clean up and the city's going to pay a bunch of money. Justin Mallory, the fellow who had the incense that was supposedly meth,
right,
he sued the city of Atlanta in federal court, and the case was dismissed. He got nothing.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
That
pretty
doesn't seem
surprising.
fair. All right. Thanks so much, Randy.
Okay. Thanks, Randy.
It just blew my mind. There was no possible way it could have been anything involved with me.
The company behind the most popular field test, Searchy International, has a warning on each box that the test results must be confirmed by an approved analytical laboratory.
During this time, Justin focused on reestablishing his life, and he flourished doing art shows and establishing his brand. Justin produced skateboards, clothing and accessories, and he reassembled his punk rock band, Big Black Biscuit. Hosting skateboarding events, creating art shows, and hosting live music events got his brand a lot of traction and kickstarted his momentum. After doing trade shows and showcases, Justin landed a meeting with the national distributor who wanted to take his brand national. The meeting was set to take place at an annual trade show in Arizona. On his way to Arizona to secure the deal, Justin encountered a problem at the start of his trip. When Justin boarded the plane and took his seat, a flight attendant approached and asked if he could bring his bag with him. Justin complied and was escorted off of the plane. Once at the gate, Justin was made aware that he made another passenger uncomfortable, and it was due to the hoodie that he was wearing. The hoodie contained a logo with 2 guns, which happens to be the band's logo at the time. After being wrongly removed from the plane and unable to make future reservations, Justin contacted his attorney to see if there was any recourse. Justin's attorney contacted multiple media outlets and threw a rally at one of the local skate parks in Atlanta to bring awareness to his situation.
A professional skateboarder from Atlanta says he was kicked off a plane at Hartsfield-Jackson because of a shirt he was wearing. He showed us a t-shirt, which has the name of a skating brand and 2 handguns. Channel 2's Justin Wilfon live at the airport tonight with the complaint another passenger raised.
Justin, when that man arrived here at the airport this month, he hoped it was the start of a successful business trip. Little did he know, he wasn't going anywhere. He makes a living with his skateboard and his brand, but this month, Justin Mallory says that's exactly what got him in trouble.
I was flabbergasted. I was taken aback.
The professional skateboarder tells me he was kicked off a Frontier Airlines flight out of Atlanta because of this logo on his shirt. It's the logo for his business, and it features 2 guns.
The shirt is just a graphic.
Mallory tells me the airline said the shirt made another passenger uncomfortable. Mallory's lawyer calls it discrimination.
The shirt, some would say that he's dressed in a hip-hop fashion, and he's African American. So, you know, those 3 things may have all contributed to the discrimination and profiling against him.
Frontier Airlines tells a much different story. In a statement to Channel 2 Action News, the airline indicated Mallory's shirt and brace had nothing to do with it. Frontier said he became argumentative prior to boarding when asked to check his skateboard. The passenger boarded the aircraft and continued to exhibit disruptive behavior.
That's totally false.
After getting kicked off the flight, Mallory says he missed a skateboarding trade show where he planned to promote his brand. Instead, he says, it got him in trouble.
I hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. I wouldn't wish it on someone.
And Mallory and his lawyer tell me they are considering a lawsuit. Reporting live at Hartsfield-Jackson, Justin Wilfon, Channel 2 Action News, StoneyP.
Once his story went national, it brought more attention to the plight of people of color and brought more attention to his brand and other social causes that Justin is passionate about.
A booth for a t-shirt? Well, a skateboarder says the logo with guns on it made a Frontier Airlines passenger so uncomfortable the crew kicked him off the plane. But tonight the airline has a very different account.
I'm doing an online interview with Santana right now through this camera. iPad is recording here.
Big Black Biscuit hoodie.
Professional skateboarder Justin Mallory says while traveling from Atlanta to Phoenix, Arizona for a skating event earlier this month, he was kicked off a Frontier Airlines plane because this shirt made another passenger feel uncomfortable. Mallory's attorney, Mauli Davis, says his client's business manager girlfriend called the airlines immediately after he was removed, and that was the reason they gave her for it.
They came and said, we need to speak with you, and basically coaxed me out of the airplane and closed the door and then pretended like they didn't know what happened.
In a statement to Fox 5, Frontier Airlines says Mallory was disrupted.
On July 7, 2018, while riding his only form of transportation, a scooter, Justin was a victim of a hit and run. Justin sustained a cranial fracture, broken sternum, 3 broken ribs, a fractured left shoulder, and 6 spinal fractures, 2 in the neck and 4 in the back, rendering the once active skater, urban artist, and band frontman paralyzed. Justin spent 8 weeks in intensive care and suffered many complications, some from improper care and others from lack of mobility. After suffering this devastating, life-changing accident, Justin continues to pursue the development of his creative brand. After a year of hospitalization, rehab, and other various therapies, he has decided to continue pursuing his dream of creative, artistic skateboarding endeavors through his band and brand, Big Black Biscuit. He is currently working on multiple projects, both national and international. One of the most exciting projects is with a skate team in Ethiopia to help advocate for youth who use skateboarding as a way to be creative and productive. With this project, and Justin's help, the project will provide access to skateboard materials and help to fund skate parks in the country that has not accepted the skate culture.
Thank you, family, for taking the time to watch my story. As you can see, my life has been forever changed. With this film, I hope to raise awareness and funds to help me live a better quality of life, and by purchasing a van lift system and acquiring other equipment and gear to further my professional career. And if you find it in your heart to contribute, please do so at the following PayPal link. And again, family, thank you for watching my story, and peace.
Before we get into it, see this right here, what you saw, you got to see this before you met Justice. I didn't get to see all of that. So I only saw up to the point where he was going to litigation for the trial. So that's all I knew. So when I got to Atlanta, went to go and meet with him, I knock on the door, and you know, I'm ready to chop it up and be wild and crazy and just talk shit. And I see that he is paralyzed. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I'm sitting here stunned. And I can't show a reaction to him because I don't want to fuck up his day, because God damn. And I don't have the heart to say, what the fuck? This ain't where the story. I thought we were going to talk about bringing awareness to his case and how we could link up with people in different countries, people in Gambia, in Africa, and Australia, and in the UK. And that's what I thought we were going to be talking about. And he's paralyzed. So Justice, why don't you get into what happened with your case? Because understand that Justice had a case, he was pursuing another case. Please explain what was going on with your case.
Well, I had a pretty cut and dry case of they ruined my medical career because they had these erroneous charges on it. So I'll bring them up and go to trial. Unbeknownst to me, I was hit. I'll tell you all about who we figured out hit me in this accident. Anyway, long story short, the lawyer got a payoff. I'm in ICU. They think I'm dead. Lawyer moves and closes business, goes to the Florida Keys, and then is gone. I think he took a payoff, and they thought I wasn't going to come out of ICU. When I did come out of ICU, they pulled the trach out of my throat. We sent back a forensic detective. Forensic detective finds the place that I landed after I was hit. I was on a motorcycle. I was hit side streets by my house. Old lady says I was hit by a police car, an unmarked police car. There was a gentleman that got out. He had the SWAT mask on, vest and whatnot, like they were doing some undercover operation, was flying down the street. The guy got out went halfway down to where I was laid out at. The lady said she came outside. The guy turned around, got back in the car. It was 4 people. They zoomed off. Black police car, unmarked. That's what I find out 4 months after they pulled the trach out of my throat and sent the forensic detective to figure this shit out. Long story short, the lawyer got paid. They thought I probably wouldn't come out of ICU from that motorcycle accident. The lawyer cashed out and went to the Supreme Court and they threw the shit out.
Now, can I ask you one question? Please do me one favor. Can you please say your lawyer's whole name, please? What is his name?
Matthew Gebhardt.
What's his middle name?
Don't know.
Let's find out. So please, we're gonna say his whole name. So anybody bears his name in the future knows.
He'll fuck you up. He'll fuck you up. He took some type of payoff to dive the case and dip.
Listen.
I mean, the motherfucker closed his business and went to the Keys. He got so much, he was out of there. They didn't think I was gonna come back out of ICU. It was a pretty bad accident. I was fucked up.
So this was just a coincidence because of course, you're not being targeted. You're definitely not being targeted. These are just accidents. You just keep on running into the police for no reason.
Listen to what I'm saying, doggy. Listen to what I'm saying. Doggy, listen to what I'm saying. I was hit by an undercover cop.
No. I'm being facetious because these are things that people say to you when these outrageous things keep happening to you, and they get to laugh your story off or say you're not explaining the whole story. So that's why I said that, brother. Those are the kind of comments you get because, like, wait a minute. It's clear that your vibe, who you are beautiful vibration. And your song ain't finished being played yet. And we know why. And anyone looking at this man, understand that God has chosen this man to do some beautiful things, and all he was doing was beautiful things. And no matter how many times they beat this man down, he found a way to get out of the circumstances and find a God and become better. So they know they couldn't beat him, so they had to cheat this man. So I'm just simply saying, this is a chosen one, and it needs to be recognized, because what you need to recognize is the other side recognizes who he is. They recognize the God in him, and he's being targeted.
Yeah, they try to take the God out.
Absolutely, and listen, brother, one of the things that has happened to you would have taken most of us out of the game forever. Now, we just know of 3 things that are very, very public, that are very easily provable, that have no questions that we're seeing. But there's hundreds of other experiences they have no idea about that you've made it through. And for you to turn all these lemons into gold, not lemonade, but gold. Do you think it's an accident that you're about to go inside a big multi-million-dollar contract and you get kicked off the plane on the way there? That's an accident, right? You understand? So if we can't get behind this beautiful black God, he is the demonstration of what we see. Black gold.
Let me say, but what I'm doing right now, I've been building with the Creator, getting the frequencies and vibrations together, and I have a skateboarding team and a brand that has flourished throughout the pandemic. I have young brothers who I've passed the torch to, who are coming up and taking this where I'm able to give back and do what little I can in whatever the aspect, the niche of life that you're in. I'm giving back. I'm operating off love. I know love, everything is interconnected. And me and Santana, I'm getting that frequency right. So y'all can see me tap dance again. You feel me?
or the beach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everything, let me say. And so what you saw on that film was just a smidgen of the peaks and valleys that I've lived. I'm telling you, I came from Milwaukee. Skateboarding took me to Hollywood. Skateboarding took me to Harlem and everywhere in between in the 90s. And I've got a crazy story. I'm penning it now as we speak. But the creator has always had his hand over the kid. And I've been through some miraculous highs and some treacherous lows. And, you know, it was all to make this position where we are right now. We got to deal in the now and understanding as everybody got a story. But it's always a treat from players me.
Right. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Oh my God! Listen. So if you don't mind starting from the beginning, and from the beginning, Justice. Tell us about.
I think that's a good place to because we've got to send a new link, don't we?
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah, it didn't cut off though, right?
Wait, did it not? Is it gonna stay extended?
It's still recording, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hey,
see, I know the story. I want to hear it again. I know the story. I want to hear it again.
Yeah,
I want
man,
to know about your parents. I want them to know how you made.
Oh,
Jesus Christ!
Hold on. Let me tell you right now. What is today? January the 11th.
Yes, sir.
Today. On December 18th, my father was murdered. He was on his way to come to Atlanta and leave his wife. And he was coming to help his paralyzed son. He was getting all of his things in order. And his evil wife terminated his life on December 18th, 2 hours before getting on the plane to Atlanta.
Thank the energies that the video shut off, man. Justice, I did not know that.
Yeah, man. It's all type of messed up. My man was about to be on the plane, and evil lady done made sure that he didn't get on the plane.
Is it not obvious to anybody who's watching this that this man is important and everything is being done and thrown against this man because he is destiny? Please understand this man. Please understand that under no circumstances can you see this man, because under any circumstances, if you ever saw this man, you would fall in love with him instantly. I walked into his house and I fell in love and got my heart broken instantly. And I'm asking you to please see him. Please see this as an angel. He's a beautiful bird. He's a butterfly. Please just see him and see that despite everything that's taking place, he is turning it into a positive. And I'm the one crying. I'm over here feeling sorry for myself. And so just please see him. Please see him. And I gotta ask you, brother, why did you tell me?
been processing it, and my sister had to go through a bunch of bullshit. Homicide detectives and long hours on the phone. And you know my position. When I'm thrown into it, just gotta react the best way you can. I couldn't really get there, and it would have been a bad scene. You know, it's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy. Real life, man. Pops got knocked off.
Let me apologize, because the better question I should have asked you was, I'm sorry that I didn't know that I couldn't have been there for you, brother. You don't have to explain that for me. That's a selfish question, and I'm sorry I even came up. But I just wish I wish you could have let me carry some of that burden for you. Because it's not meant to be carried by yourself. It'll tear you apart. And that's all. That's what I really meant. What I really meant was, I got broad shoulders, brother, and you can throw some of that weight on me sometimes, just to get a break. You know what I mean. So that's what I really was trying to say. And please forgive me for saying why you called me, please.
No, it is. I've never been through anything like it before. It's crazy how you would react. I've seen a lot of crazy, weird things. I've seen a lot of death. I've seen a lot of life. You know, part of it, my man, my OG, my veterano, he had a halfway hand. He was a grown man. He knew what he was getting into and what he would put up with. And at this point, actually on January 14th, which is in a couple of days, that's when we're gonna figure. We'll see what comes out in the wash. But yeah, I've been tested by the other side a lot in life, and I've learned through adversity the way to win. Love will win through it all. The way to combat these situations. I've had a tumultuous life up until this point before my accident, and while I sat down to contemplate, I was preparing to get millions, and I was going to dip on fools. I was going to be in like fucking the west coast of Guatemala somewhere. I was going to get my little money and buy me a earth ship in Guatemala and dig a farm. And like I wake up in ICU with no loot. It's crazy, man. I forgot what I was even talking about. Let's get back on positivity. The AJ, the ambiguous juxtaposition. How I've always won. I came out the box as an MC. So I was running around Hollywood. I was running around Harlem in MC ciphers. And I was also a skateboarder. And I figured out in different pools, I would tell the skateboarder, I'm an MC. And I would tell the MC, I'm a skateboarder. And I found that ambiguous juxtaposition was to never shine in front of the master and just pick it up. A lot of times, some people aren't willing to give you jewels in life. I learned everything from bumping my head 3 times for every decision, figuring out how to right or wrong, just being adventurous. And when I start my memoirs, it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you, I told you that story in Santana. So my parents, both of them at 3 years old, were going to meet downtown and get their welfare check and boogie about their separate ways. Mom thought I was with Pops, Pops thought I was with Mom. They got in the car and they dipped. They saw each other in traffic. She was like, where the boy at? He ain't with you, you with him. I was like, nah. Long story short, They left me at 3 years old downtown Milwaukee. And I walked back to my grandmother's house 15 miles away at 3 years old from the downtown of a major metropolis city. And I guess at 3 years old, I told everybody, it was my first memory of life. I said the angels led me there to the back of my grandmother's house. And that's how I started this adventure of highways and hotels.
So you found that being a skater. Tell me how that acted when you were going to rap. You know, going to cypher places as a skateboarder. How would it go down?
It was. This was. I started skating in the mid '80s and all through the '90s. I was an MC as well, and just being in certain positions, you don't want to outshine the master. So like I was with a bunch of people who were at that time, if you were an MC, you had to be out of New York or LA to either get signed, and you would have those styles. Me coming from the Midwest, those are things we loved, and we developed our own melding pot. But a lot of times, this was regional accent days when you could tell a person, he from Dallas, he from Houston, he from Louisiana, this person from the West Coast. Oh, that's those New York cats. He's a backpacker. And so just traveling in those circles, just being a bohemian. I was dated hippies. I had a bunch of beautiful, lovely white women that showed me ways that took me outside of my culture. I was listen to me, let me tell you what.
Wait, oh, stop, pump the brakes. Wait a minute. Yeah. Pump the brakes. Adriano. Did I tell you?
The Scorpio, I feel like there's a Scorpio energy once more.
Did I tell you the most amazing storyteller you're ever going to find?
Can somebody bring me an apple, please?
But
hey, what I was alluding to was to step outside of your comfort zone in culture. So I was running around doing my little shit, skateboarding, MCing in Milwaukee, and there was a beautiful woman that got me on a punk rock tour, and I left Milwaukee. And once I left, I outgrew the stratosphere, and then I was in a different plane of existence. This woman worked in the industry in Hollywood. She worked in publishing for a major label, Rondor, A&M Records. So I came into Hollywood with my lady was a Irish white punk rock woman, and she showed me culture. I lived in a household of skateboarders, for everyone from Jewish to Eritrean, West African. When you live in these different cultures and live in their house and you eat their foods. I lived in Hollywood. I lived in an Armenian neighborhood. We used to go to the Armenian bakery next door. At that time I dated an Armenian woman. It was just, I'm 50. So right now I'm with my woman. I met her, I was in my mid 40s. I didn't have a clue until I met my current wife. I was still operating, the pistons were striking on all full potential until I became complete with the queen I'm with now. So I'm talking about in the 90s. So I stepped outside of myself and lived with these people. I lived in a household of Africans where they spoke, and they're from Nigeria, Lagos. I had a room, and then it was 5 other brothers in one apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, 5 other brothers in one room, I'm in another room. And they just indoctrinated me into the ways, and you figure out a different way of life. And I've ran across the US, several times. And being a hippie, being a punk rocker, going against the grain, I've always distrusted authority and questioned it from the 80s punk rock days. And then rap came into it. And then I was proficient with that. And let me tell you about the mind. As a young boy in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I would record rap videos and do skateboarding, skated, totally into it, doing it. And just, I didn't know how I was gonna get to Hollywood and be skateboarding in California and Arizona and Oregon and Seattle and these different places. I had no idea how I was gonna do it, but I concentrated on it. It took me a long while to get knowledge of self and learn these techniques. I'm just now busting the brain open. After this accident, being 50 right now, I am just now operating on full potential. And so everything came into place. Everything as far as my business. I was chasing these things. I was running the band. I was partying, and I had a daytime job in the medical field. And I was like burning on two ends. I have a daughter. And after this accident, it gave me time. I never had a time to actually stop for a second. I can never stop. Like the shark that has to get it. I had a daughter, I gotta pay rent. I gotta get it. And so it's been a miraculous journey to reinvent myself again as I present this slower version of myself, and I'm able to articulate and talk without a predatory approach. You know, when you can actually listen and empathize, and I'm able to show love and give back. And we just begun, baby. We just begun. Watch when I get up out this bed. Me and Santana's running on different coasts. Is how you say coast. Plural.
We say we want to say this. Can you dig it, TV? We know that whatever we want to say is what it is, brother.
I worked my way up from a medical assistant from a phlebotomist to an X-ray tech to a surgical tech. My last position, I was working in urologist, men's health clinic, doing penile implants. That was my last surgical tech position. I was getting paid. I was getting my Fridays off. I was like jet setting. I was taking a band all across it was crazy. And then this whole thing of me helping my friend during a snowstorm, he had some incense, which was frankincense and myrrh, and they tried to charge me with having 2 ounces of meth. Mandatory, 10 years mandatory. I had 2 ounces, 10 years mandatory. To the door, they offered me 25 do 20. 3 times, went to grand jury. They offered me 25 do 20 years. For some meth.
So a quick question.
Yeah.
So to become a phlebotomist, you had to go to college, right?
I did.
So
I did. You don't have to.
How did you go? I mean, well, why don't you tell us about your experience of getting that amazing trade that you have put under your belt?
Let me tell you. So not only that, I've also been a very avid hustler. I stole my education. That was when I got out of the streets and I wanted to legitimize my get down and my wiggle. I said, the last thing I'm gonna steal is something they can't steal back from me. And I stole this fucking education.
So what is that? What does something like that mean? I know what it means, but what does I stole my education mean, brother? And understand that I rank that with Frederick Douglass saying that I prayed with my feet. So just understand what you mean when you said I stole my education.
It means that when I decided to jump out there and legitimize my hustle, I said the last thing I'm going to steal is something that they can't take from me. And that was an education. And so I was avid with the paperwork. I was cutting wood across the United States. You know, I was very in depth with the Africans. I was a translator, and I was the front man for a lot of Lagos, Nigerian, African business in the bank. So I used to go in the bank, you understand me?
I can dig it.
So I floated some wood all the way through school to pay for all of the fees. And when it came to the end of it, I had a couple thousand they wanted. And I just told Fannie Mae to go fuck herself. Yeah. Get it in blood, bitch.
So what was it? Was there any particular legal status that you were dealing with when you was in school that they might find entertaining?
Oh yeah, I was on the run. I was on the run for armed robbery.
So you're telling me that you managed to so you hid in. Okay, please explain.
Okay. Let me break it on down. Let me break it on down for you. Okay, this is a long time ago. When 9/11 happened, I had a court date. I was so mad at whoever 9/11 did. And that was a big thing. I got a skateboard and I have a rhyme that I wrote, a poetry. I was supposed to go to court on 9/11. So long story short, I was cutting wood across the United States. I don't know if the translation.
Excuse me. Please tell me what cutting wood means, please. For the people who don't know what cutting wood means, can we explain that? I know what it means, but everybody else don't know what it means. So please say cutting wood, please.
That means I was going in financial institutions and giving them some bogus flamboosy paperwork, and they were giving me a bank account and a lot of money, and an ATM card. And a lot of money. We put a lot of money in it.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's cutting wood.
I was an actor, a classically trained thespian. So I can be any type of person. I can be a businessman. I can be a CEO. I can put on accents. So I used my American talents with my African backing. And we cut wood across the United States to fund, at the time I was funding my alcoholic madness and every rampant lust a young man can have. And I took it to the limits. I had to raise my standards several times. When you find yourself having anything you can possibly want in your wildest dreams. And so I did that for a while. And
how old are you at the time, and this lifestyle that you're living, kind of, if you don't mind delving.
Let me go back. Let me go back to 9/11. So boom, I was in 9/11 when that happened. I was fighting an armed robbery charge. Check this out. This motherfucker pulled an AK out on me. It hit me in the chest. Thought I was a pussy. I knew he was a pussy. I took the fucking gun from him. This fucker called the cops. Long story short, this fucker called the cops because I took the AK from him. Cops come, boom, boom, boom. He said this and that. It was crazy. I know the dude from skateboarding. He was of a certain persuasion. I knew he was a pussy and he wouldn't shoot me. And he didn't know I had a gun. Anyway, I disarmed him. He called the police and said I stole his gun. Long story short, 9/11 happens. I'm going to court. Doesn't happen. And in between, when I actually did get caught, and from the warrant that was put out, when I did get caught, I had a little bag of weed in my pocket. So once they processed me in, I've got 2 charges, separated. One, armed robbery warrant. The other one, when they picked me up, I got a weed charge. I'm fighting this thing for the whole time. Unbeknownst to me, in between them transferring me into facilities, I got to the new facility, to the federal joint, and they only had the new weed charge. There was no bond for the armed robbery at the time. So 9/11 basically fucked me up and helped me out. I got out on the weed charge erroneously, which they were trying to give me 10 years and 12. And these guys were going to court. They were saying I had the 45 up to this white girl belly, and I came in and took their guitars and took their automatic weapons with floors, even though I just disarmed this pussy ass. And they were going to court and they were testifying. So long story short, 9/11 happens. They do a fuck up with the paperwork. I'm able to wiggle out. I'm on the run for this. On the run, I go find a hideout. I find this hideout in a house under a house. There was an old man who was renting out a house under his house. I ended up getting it, stayed in there, stayed on the low. I've been on the run. I know how to do it on the run. I've been on the run. I used to do this shit. And so in between me doing that, I went to medical school, okay? I went to medical school on the run, living in an adobe under an old man's house. And I know how to walk and not have an ID. I walk every day to a train to go to medical school, to walk back on the run to an adobe house in the country, under a man's house, in the basement, with literally the ground was adobe. So I went to medical school for a year and a half on the run, and I achieved my licensure for X-ray tech, phlebotomist, and a medical assistant. And I started wiggling around in the industry. And it's a whole nother story how I found out that the warrant just disappeared. It's crazy. I'm the only person in the history of the United States to be wanted. And they were literally going over to my mom's house, going to different places, busting it in, talking about, we let them out of jail on accident. It was crazy. It was crazy. It's a more elaborate story. Like, it was crazy. My grandfather had a stroke, so that was what initially got me into the medical field. Was my grandfather having a stroke, and they needed a strong dude because these little ladies couldn't pick up my big old grandpa. So I was doing that. Went to school. What was I saying? I got lost.
You were saying how you got into the medical field. But then once they were trying to find a warrant, they was after they made a mistake.
Oh
they were busting
yeah. So they're running up. They were throwing my grandfather out his bed, and they were just doing these raids and saying that I was, they let me out of jail erroneously, and it was crazy. So I was on the run for a year and a half. Yeah. So I was on the run for a year and a half.
And the warrant just disappeared.
The warrant just disappeared. And the way that I found out that I didn't have a warrant was I got in a high-speed chase. But that's another whole story. While I was on the run, I was so discreet about my shit. I know how to not contact. This is before it was StarTAC cell phones. Everything was analog. I used to work a Radio Shack. So I'm very familiar with gadgets, and I used to do analog cell phone networks. I used to make them in Radio Shack. So I knew how to hustle. I had Africans, I knew how to hustle. I went to school, I got this degree, and I fucking stole it with a bunch of fake shit as I paid for school. And it was my real name. And then let me tell you how I found out that I didn't have this warrant for this armed robbery. So I was on the run, keeping it low the longest time. I don't contact anybody I know. Fall off the map. Nobody. I made a new girlfriend. Eventually got a new girlfriend. So boom, boom, boom. I go out. I see this dude that I used to hustle with. Actually, he was the guy I was with when I took the gun from somebody and got the case. So I see him. He tells me, he's like, yo, I got VIP at this club, boom, boom. Don't worry nothing. You don't have to have an ID. You don't have to dress up. I can get you in there. Mind you, I'm running around with no ID, fake ID, not coming out, living under. The only time I'm coming out is getting food, woman, or going to this medical school. You know what I'm saying? Because I know once I get caught, they offer me 10 years. I got to do a 10-year stretch. So I'm like, I'm gonna get this medical degree. So when I come out, boom, 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 I'm gonna at least have some shit. They can't take the education from you. So I was like, the last thing I'm gonna get is this degree. I was on the run. I know that they're gonna catch me and give me 10. So boom. I got where I was at in the story. And that's just a microcosm of this book that I'm writing about this live. I'm a live dude. Well, I was a live wire, punk rock, going against the grain, rap, just being fluent and hustling. And I lost myself again.
No, listen, brother. No, we just talking. We just talking, bro.
Yeah, it's amazing. The story's
Genie, can I have a lighter?
But Adrian, I told you, I sat over there and literally they had to pull me out of this house because, man, it was like catching up old times. And let me brag on you for a second, brother, please. So, what another amazing talent he has is he's an amazing artist. He has some of the most amazing, beautiful art that you can imagine. Just absolutely gorgeous. You gotta see it. As a matter of fact, because of his art, it inspired us to put together something called the iArt Experience, where all artists can now have a platform where they can share their platforms for free on our platforms. So if they want to be able to sell something, they don't have to go through an art dealer or have to go through a record label or a producer. They can just put their art out here for free and get it viewed by the world. And we're talking whether you're a poet, whether you paint, or whatever your special, beautiful talent is. But you inspired me to want to do that because you keep doing beautiful things. And
I didn't even speak on that. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Please,
I do art. I do all of the art direction for my skateboarding and streetwear brand. I was very rampant. I used to get up with graffiti and destroy shit. And so I used to do a lot of graffiti and I used to destroy shit. And so a lot of art now I put on canvases. I got, after my accident, me and my wife have a storage facility that has all of my canvases, and we like to get them out there. And this is just it's an Operation Shake Back, where the kid is able to come back with a whole different mindset. I got a whole new crop of people, and we're gonna get busy. Let's do this.
Can you dig it? Listen, when I came into the house, it was like, okay, man, we're gonna fix all this. I'm so happy to see you. I'm glad we connected again. I'm sorry it took us so long this time around. This is harder. This is a harder simulation than the last time. This is the harder one. So we just immediately connected, and his artwork, it just it speaks to you, and it's not of despair. So we decided that we don't need to go through some fancy gallery for them to tell him who he is. I think we can all see who he is. If you just look at him, close your eyes and understand that he is a beautiful song. Justice is his vibration, and that's his song. And please, we're gonna go through his artwork, and he's gonna have the first ever 3 Wise Men artist. And this gentleman right here, Justin, I can't stop calling you Justice because that's your frequency, and we're gonna put that frequency and make it real.
That's my daughter's name too. My daughter's name is Justice.
Can you dig it? So what a fantastic, could you imagine, I've never met a person who I thought was more interested in me. Never, ever, ever. And I'm sitting here listening to his story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, man, you won. You won, man.
Yeah, for me, my life pales in insignificance in comparison. I'm like, well, okay. I'm not. Also, I was thinking as well, like when you were saying that, I was like, is this the stuff that you talk about on the internet? I'm like, this is not the stuff you do. You don't want this recording published, right? Like, I don't know how it works. Like,
no, this is, the world needs to see that we are not animals. Yeah. They need to see that we're not animals, and we're loving creatures. And please, stop allowing these things to happen to us.
I was talking about the bit where, what was it called? I forgot. Cutting wood? Was that what it's called? Wood?
We'll cut that out. We'll cut that out.
Yeah. That bit's got to go, right?
No, hold up. Leave all of this shit. Statute of limitations is over.
Dig it. Okay, even better. Leave cutting wood and not cutting wood.
What does that mean? No, wait. Statute of limitations.
Okay, so yes. So,
nothing is prosecutable. Absolutely nothing is prosecutable.
Right.
I've been good for years.
Unless your name is Bill Cosby. Unless your name's Bill Cosby, though, you know.
Yeah.
So Adriano, this brother is, I can't wait to, we're going to showcase his artwork with the virtual gallery. He is the first of a kind here on our God class. Our God class, okay? This is the first. And we're gonna allow people to publicly bid on it. This is the first. And brother, I don't sleep. And you ever need to talk to anybody, talk to me, because listen, I don't, man, the way your mind operates, it's just the way your mind operates.
Let me tell you, it was created from, there's no other option, bro. There's no other option. I've always seen at least every decision has three options. Every decision, you know, it can, punk rock, man, made me question everything. And then you start to figure it out.
So what's the three options, please?
It is the truth, the lie, or the actuality of what really happened. You can go left, right, or you can go in the middle. You can go to the fork of the road and go straight.
Dig it. Yeah, yes.
You feel me?
Listen.
ET just means extraterrestrial. That is just a little bit of land that we have not found as of yet.
That's it. That's all, man.
Admiral Byrd saw it.
Of course he saw it. Well, listen, they know it's all falling apart. They know everything is falling apart. And
and when we put together power, we enlighten each other like crystals when we bounce this positivity off each other. I found that works, you know, and yet you guys are brothers, you know what I'm saying? We're in the same mission. I was digging the music that you were making, Adriano, and I want to drop some lyrics. We want to do a project.
Yes, bro. You know? Oh my, this is amazing. This is bro, like, 100%, man. I would love to do that so much.
I got some poetry. His
vocabulary, man. His words, Adriano. His words are so, man. It's just like he's speaking French. It just sounds so. Man, he just got words.
I'm just honored. Honestly, it is an honor to hear the story here, like, you know, firsthand, like, bro. And it's an honor just to speak to you, man. Like, God bless you. God bless you both.
Good thanks, brother. Good thanks, brother.
Always.
And just one more thing. If you feel like going into it, you don't have to. We can do it next time. Do you have time to go into your 3 H's, the 4 horsemen? Or is that something another company?
No, most definitely. It might cut off for the 10 minutes.
We've got 1 minute left. Oh. We need to do that next bit.
Okay, we'll do it for the next one.
No, we can make a new link. We can make a new link and record it.
Okay, we can.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. Man.
Yeah. We're going to make a new link, brief intermission.
The four horsemen. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. How I beat my personal four horsemen of the apocalypse.
We gotta stop. You gotta stop. We gotta start on a new link.
It's an ad break. Adverts.
Okay.
Cut to the advert.
Yeah. This is a commercial break.
Commercial break.
Just listen, baby, open up your soul. No need to stress the bullshits up on the royal flows. The morning rise, we brush our teeth on 209 flows. We smoke Khalifa in the bad bird Khalifa, Always in the heavens, never smelling like the reefer. Bad woman, sexy shape, you know I had to meet ya. Pretty smile, black god in Spanish, my bonita. I know you like it sweet with the salt margarita. We ain't even got to dream. Touch so soft, it comforts me, yeah. Captivating in my mind like couple bands for my baby, shopping mall, spinning right. Somerset, Cartier, Shades, Buffy Woods life. Straight royalty, and you know we living in the royalty. Everything around is straight royalty, and you know we in the place to be. Everyone around is straight royalty, and you know we living in the royalty. Everything around is straight royalty, and you know we in the place to be. Everyone around is straight royalty, and you know we living in the royalty. Everything around is straight royalty. Place to be. Everyone around me straight royalty. And you know we living in the royalty. Everything around is straight royalty. And you know we in the place to be. Everyone around me straight royalty. And you know we living in the royalty. Everything around is straight royalty. And you know we in the place to be. Everyone around me straight royalty. And you know we living in the royalty. Everything around is straight royalty, and you know we in the place to be. Everyone around me straight royalty.
Okay, sorry, gentlemen. We were still talking to my man Justice. And Justice, why don't you I know you wrestle with some demons, and I want. And we're getting into some subjects that are uncomfortable, and we're not trying to present ourselves as perfect. We're just telling you the truth, and these are opportunities. We made the best of the opportunities we had available to us, and for the people who are out there who are saying, you get what you deserve because you stole or you had marijuana, it's like, listen. Who out there hasn't smoked weed? A person shouldn't be in prison for 10 years smoking weed, okay? And if that's what you're thinking in your heart, I think if you could just ask yourself for a second, why would you have that thought? Because that's an unnatural thought for you to have under any other circumstances. So what I'm saying is, you have this thought in your heart because you're being programmed to feel that way. And I'm just asking you to not beat yourself up, and we're not even going to beat you up for having that thought. I'm just asking you to take a look at yourself and maybe consider that you, if you've had that thought, where did it come from? And you know it's not coming from God, but if it's there, acknowledge it so you can face it. Because if we know where it came from, we can defeat it. But if we ignore it and run from it, it stays with us in every aspect of our decision making. So please, brother, tell me about these four, how do you call it again, brother?
I called it the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Dig it.
My TV thingy is gone.
Yeah, there's no
but
TV.
Yeah, the four horsemen of the apocalypse of my personal life that I was challenged with were heroin, HIV, herpes, and Hep C. And all of these I personally came in contact with intimately, and the Creator gave me blessing enough to walk through these situations. And like literally, like if I was doing the first one, I tell you, dope, heroin, smack. I was a punk rocker. I partied all across the United States with all types of people. You know, a party, you know what I'm saying? Smack was very prevalent. When I was in Arizona and when I was in Seattle, we put it on the foil. I used to get very, very high across the United States. I dated a woman who was a dope dealer, and she ended up having Hep C. She went to prison, and I was having sex with her and getting high with her using a spike, and I never got it. The mother of my child had herpes. Once I figured that out and I knew she was having my child, I dove in full force. I was like, I got it too. And we ended up breaking up. I never had it. And HIV, I had a lawyer of mine, female, Caucasian, older female, dealing with. She was my lawyer. She actually worked at a firm that the Africans hooked me up with. I ended up hooking up with her, living with her. And I thought I had her pregnant. She ended up having HIV. And I left, ended up getting tested for years and never got it. It's crazy. So like heroin, I used to get higher than anybody ever I knew. I left it alone and never had withdrawals, never stopped. Went to rehab or none of that. Just the Creator gave me, I let it go.
You just stopped.
Yes. I just stopped. I just stopped. And actually, I removed myself from the situation. I left LA and came to Atlanta, where it was a whole different get down. And I don't really like getting high with spikes. And that's all it really was down here. That's like shooting up and whatnot. And so it was different. And so I let it go.
Jeez.
Even I did try. I mean, the first time I did do a spike, I probably an OD. These motherfuckers, like, it's crazy. I had a running. Anybody knows, like, if you have it conked out, we're gonna dip. That's gonna be on you. It can happen to anybody. And luckily, when it did happen to me, I was able to get to a hospital without an ambulance. Somebody looked out for me. And yeah, man, I let that shit go. And HIV, like, fuck yeah. I was intimate with it. It was my lawyer. I lived with her. I was pregnant. We had unprotected sex for months. I never got it. went to get tested for years, worked in the medical field for 15 years, tested myself. Then the herpes, my baby mom had it. I thought I was like, fuck. I never got it. I never got it. The same with the Hep C. As I said, I had the female I dealt with. She was a drug dealer. She used to get high with a spike. I was having sex with her, and she was the one that took me to the hospital. I tried the spike and OD'd, and I never got Hep C. And so when I made it through those shits, I was like, drinking was my only mountain I had to conquer at that point. Smoking PCP and doing acid, mushrooms. That's all prevalent, but that's not like a real, it was crazy. So yeah, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse in my personal life, I went through it and beat it crazily. The Creator had my back, I'm telling you. I went through these situations. I thought there was no way that there's no way you can get away with armed robbery. And it's on the books, you're being charged. They're running for you. They got these warrants, they're busting your spots, and then it's mysteriously gone. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen when you're having sex with your lawyer, you're living with her, she's got HIV, and you don't have it.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you would, for example, when you would being intimate with your attorney with HIV, were you telling yourself, I'm not going to get it?
Oh, we didn't know. We didn't know until she was pregnant by me. I was living with her, and in the middle of her going trimester, maybe 2, she went and then busted it out on me, told me. It's crazy. She taught me how to carry one show. She said we're both gonna die together.
Wow, that's romantic.
She said we're both gonna die together.
Oh my God.
It's romantic from a certain perspective. I'm joking. So the woman who had herpes, did you know she had herpes when you was having sex with her? Is that what you were going to ask, Adrian? Because that's a brave thing. Black men are terrified of herpes. Black men think herpes is like child support.
No, listen. Let me tell you, the mother of my child only met for 30 days. And on the second time we had sex, I conceived with a child. Second time. I was 36 at that time. It was crazy. She's from Africa. And so second time she's pregnant. 3 weeks into this new pregnancy of me even knowing you, 3 weeks, and I've got herpes. I'm like, shit.
I'm not laughing. But that's
crazy.
That's not, but you know what though? But the reason why I'm saying these things, I'm asking for a reason, not just because I'm a big silly kid, but I'm asking because just the power of the mind. And because he was not made aware of the situation, his mind did not allow himself to connect with the frequency of these different diseases. So he never got them. I have a friend by the name of Anil Huntley. I love you, Anil. He never ever uses a condom because he does not believe HIV is real. And he has proven it can't be real because I've seen some that was a story he told me.
You seen his handiwork? You see his handiwork when he's dirt surfing?
No. He appreciates it all. But he had to shave her back before they consummated. You know, he just met her. And it's like, I don't know what do you say. Hey, I'm gonna be, before we go any further, I'm gonna have to shave your back.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
I'm lost. I don't know what's going on.
No, but it's just the power of when my son got sick, all the doctors kept telling me, say it. Say he has autism. They kept telling me to say it and say it. It's so bad that my son's record, it's in the international charts of the school I took him to when we moved to Holland. And part of the notes is, we can't get his father to say it. You know, because it's something about us agreeing and consenting to it. And since God protects you because you were not given consent by these scandalous ladies out here who didn't tell you that they had, you know, some issues they were dealing with, God said he's protected because he did not give consent. And that's what I'm just trying to simply, that was the point I was trying to make. I wasn't trying to just be silly. It was just that, just see how this rules to the game.
That was something when Santana came to the crib, we sat down and we were building. So with me writing this book of these memoirs and these crazy stories, I got like 150 Post-it notes, maybe 35 pieces of paper all over the wall right in front of me. So all of these situations are lined out for me writing this book. And there's like, if you were just to go and look at a couple Post-it notes and be like, what the hell? And all of these are different hijinks and highs and lows and antics that those situations, the crazy situations that people get into. You know what I'm saying? When you wander into a minefield, you didn't know you went into a minefield. You thought you were going to the beach, and there's no water, but there's bombs.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, and I think that the world, there's the hardest. I don't care whoever sees and hears this, there's nowhere in the world that they don't know that this is divinely inspired and you are divinely inspired, and you have a message to give to humanity.
Absolutely. And after that accident, I knew that the Creator said that you have to tell the story. It's cautionary to at least one person. Might not, you know, it might help somebody. You know what I mean? And it's crazy as hell when every time I tell somebody the real to real, it's stranger than fiction. It's, you know, it's crazy when you have that type of energy. And like, I've seen it happen where like, I've been it's crazy. I've been in a county jail, and this crazy, like feminazi guard just saw me smiling and immediately wanted to just torment me and do the worst type of craziness just for me just shining, just knowing like, you know, I've been through the worst. I'm not dead, ain't dead yet. Like how we said, I'm about to tap dance again. We're just in a worldly meat sack right now, having a human experience. When you get your mind right, you can do anything. A lot of that, when those 4 H's, is how I told them I was running through the world. And it's not really obliviously, but when the Creator has your back, it's meant for you to do something. It's meant to say something. And henceforth, it manifested what we are doing as we speak.
Yeah.
Connecting.
Dig it. And Adrian across the pond. And
right.
A good strong brother.
I feel like it's the power of the the power of the mind is powerful, but when you're kind of in the right state of mind in terms of like your connection with God and, you know, the faith really, then you make the right decisions in life, and then you live from your heart. And when you live from your heart, that's when you're truly in this state where these things are possible.
Well, we're witnessing it. I mean, and listen, I'm trying to get to where he is, because he doesn't come from a confrontational point of view, and I'm sitting back like, man, like I gotta learn how to do that. This is, I'm trying, and it's like, but I want you to understand, Adriano, these situations are so extreme and so egregious and so public, and nobody don't say shit about it. You understand?
No, when you were telling me about the four horsemen, like that, yeah, there's words, I don't know what the words are really to describe it, because yeah, like it's one of those things where like I know that truly I haven't actually been through it personally, and like the closest things that like, there's just there's dark forces in the world, which it's not some, they don't need to be there, some of them, like we humanity's on a progressive wave. I'm sorry to I don't want to bring any kind of, I'm bringing back to the blessings, but yeah, there's God bless you, because yeah, you are a shining example to us all. I am honored to be here and to learn, and man.
Well, listen, brother, and that's what it's about, because our generation kind of messed up, and we didn't get together, and we should have been talking to each other's children, and we went along with the lie. And I think what me and Justice, what hurts us the most is we were brutalized as babies, and we understood when we became conscious that things can happen to you. There was never an illusion that we were protected or bad things can't happen to you because you're a kid, because we both had violent experiences as children, brutality under the age of 5, that we knew anything can happen to you. And I got comfortable and I forgot that. And I skipped through, and it got my kid. So it's like, ooh, you thought I was almost out. I look house hunting in Europe, find my way out of this matrix over here. Got my kid right before we left. So it's like, you understand, like you knew your whole life that anything can happen,
It's a choose your own adventure book. You remember those? Choose your own adventure.
Yes. Yes.
Hey,
yeah.
So, you ever just jump on the railroad, get on the train, just climb on a train and take it to another state?
I can't say that I have.
Yeah, no.
The closest I've got is jumping on buses to random places.
You've done that?
Yeah, man.
Listen to music.
Listen, that's beautiful.
Absolutely, man.
We're all adventurers and travelers. Listen, these are beautiful. Have you ever had a stroke in the Belize rainforest and almost poop your pants and almost die looking for a rare flower that you saw in a painting from Michelangelo?
No. That sounds wild, bro.
Another show. But the redeeming thing from that story is I found the plant, and number 2, I did not poop on myself. So we'll tell us another story for another time. But so Adriano, I want you to, we want you to tell your friends and tell people your age, when you see folks who look like us, you have no idea of what a normal day looks like for us. It's nowhere near normal. Hey,
check this out. Can I get a PS in there? Let me get, I absolutely love Granny Smith apples. And did I tell y'all my pseudonym, or my moniker? They call me Apple Stem Slim. I have a whole chapter of Apple Stem Slim. And I'm gonna tell you real quick how I got that name, Apple Stem Slim. I was given that name. You can't make up for your own name to this world. You know that, right?
What? You can't what?
You can't make up your own name. No, you have to be bestowed a name. Somebody got to give you your moniker. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's it then. No more Cat Daddy. Because I named myself Cat Daddy. And
Well, we
Killer
call
Priest,
you. I
Killer
done
Priest
called
named
you
me, Can
Cat
You Dig
Daddy.
It? Killer Priest called me, Can You Dig It?
Okay,
So, Can You Dig It?
dig
Killer
it.
Priest call me, Can You Dig It? So I am no longer the Cat Daddy. I'm now forever going by the name of Can You Dig It? And somebody else has an announcement. Adriano, please give me the announcement, Adriano.
You're the Cat Daddy. You're the Cat Daddy, bro.
But what about you? What about you, Adriano?
You're the Cat Daddy. I'm gonna take the name Chico. Chico.
That's
check this out.
Chico Grande. Chico Grande.
Tell
Okay, check this out.
Sí, en
Apple
español.
Stem Slim. Apple Stem Slim. Check this out. I was locked up during this time, and I couldn't get out. Couldn't call nobody. Was broke and have nothing. I ran around and I would grab an apple stem from everybody in the jail, and they were throwing these things away. Okay, so I would collect the apple stem. Unbeknownst to them, I would take the apple stems at night and I would chew them up to a curd. I get them to a nice curd, nice and chewed up and all type of munched up and to a nice curd pulp of mulch. And I would dry it on the light. And then in the morning, I would break it down and roll it up in cigarettes. And I would sell it to them. It was natural. It was all natural cigarettes that I created a whole economy in this jail with the apple stems. And they always wondered why. They always wondered why the guy is asking at the garbage can for your apple core. I was asking for it. I was going through the garbage and digging out the apple cores and just plucking stems as they were going down the place. And they were just like, oh, he's a happy vegetarian. But unbeknownst to them, I was making cigarettes. And I was selling cigarettes. And they were better than cigarettes because they were natural and they got you high, but they were made out of apple stem. And they used to call me Apple Stem Slim because he was always digging in the garbage, getting the apple stems. But I was making cigarettes.
Can you dig it, Adriano? This is bad. Okay.
And that's how I funded. And that's how I funded my 9-month empire in the county jail with no money.
Listen, man. Adriano, I declare that justice is king for the day out of the three wise men discussion. Do you agree with my announcement?
I'm bowing to the king. I'm bowing to King Justice.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
Brother
Hey, listen, I'm a student of life. I'm a student of life, and I'm just giving it back up, brother.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Oh man, Jesus Christ. We're going to, with your artwork, we're going to allow you to, for each piece, write a letter, a brief description of what each piece means and when you did it and what the true meaning is, and you sign it. And whoever gets the signature, the original art and your signature. Can you dig it?
I can dig it. I have a lot of digital art. I have, here at the house, I have about maybe 12 actual pieces that are 3 by 4 feet. And one couple 5 by 3, long ones.
So we're starting with 12.
Okay.
12 is the perfect number. Can you dig it? Because, people don't want to look at 100 pictures. Let's look at the beautiful 12 that you want to show them because they didn't know who you are.
Absolutely. And
they didn't know that you make t-shirts. Listen, brother. He makes t-shirts. He designs skateboards.
I make t-shirts. I design skateboards. I do socks, hoodies, track suits. We do everything from throw pillows to shower curtains. I'm making my lady and my mama stretch pants. I make big girl stretch pants.
Dig it, dig it, dig it.
You know, everything.
You dig it.
And right now, I got I'm gonna show you that. That's what I shot you the graphic. I got a DIY. I have a skate team, of young people on the Big Black Biscuit skateboarding team, and we got a DIY. It's called Frequency and Vibration. I'm gonna send you the graphics. That's the newest joint I just made the other day.
Fantastic, fantastic, man. Well, listen, gentlemen, Adriano, please, I'm not gonna say anything else because
send me some
I keep
tracks.
talking every time I talk. Though I don't get on the phone with them. You know, we both got responsibilities. So, Adriano, please, any other questions you gotta ask this brother, please.
Send me some tracks.
I'm gonna send the tracks through, man. Like, bro, I don't even know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. The main thing for me is just I'm excited to make some tracks. I'm excited for us to make some tracks together. But bro, it's just a pure honor, and I'm looking forward to our next chat. Like, yeah, man. Like,
yeah, and you know what? It's all about love. It's still love. Like, he's still beautiful. And if he didn't tell you he was 50 and he told you he was 30, you believe him.
Yeah, all these stories, man, like I'm speaking from a perspective of someone who hasn't been in them, and they shed a lot of perspective. And yeah, God bless you for sharing. And just thank you, because
wait until you see the whole book. The book has to be a biopic.
I want to see the art as well. I'm excited to see the artwork.
So what would the movie be called?
Sure.
If someone was to do a movie, what would you call a movie, and who would you have play you?
You know, I don't know a crop.
This is a trick question, though, by the way. This is a trick question.
Mm-hmm.
What would you call your movie? Who would you play? Who will play you?
You know, my first album was called Highways and Hotels, and I toured off that demo for 15 years on their ass, singing broken songs, screaming drunkily. Never shit. It would be called Highways and Hotels.
Damn right it would be. And who will play you?
They ain't made the man yet.
Yes, they did. You play your damn self. Can you dig it?
Right. Me in a different dimension at the same damn time.
Can you dig it?
Yeah, you can't teach experience. You can't teach experience.
You cannot. You cannot. So for all you folks out there who had a bad day because your Instagram, somebody posted that your fingernails look bad or your hairdo wasn't nice, that is a luxury, because there's another existence taking place out here from people who, from I think any perspective, you would say are beautiful and are trying desperately to contribute something beautiful to humanity. So just asking you to please just see him, and just please look at him, because when you see him, you're gonna see yourself, and that's how it's supposed to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dig it.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
Can you dig
What
it?
do you dig it?
We're officially in our last 8 minutes and 38 seconds.
Well, listen, I'm just flabbergasted, and I'm gonna get off here and listen. For anybody who's saying Santana's getting fat, I'm not getting fat. This is how my face looks when I cry. I'm an ugly cry. So my face gets puffy when I cry.
Look, I cried every day until December was over. I cried every day for my pops, dog. It's crazy. It's crazy. His name is Calvin Mallory. I'm Justin Mallory. His name is Calvin Mallory.
What's his middle name?
He actually didn't have one. It's crazy. My grandma said that she was too busy to get my middle name.
Dig it. Hey, do you understand? Just for 1 second. We got 7 minutes.
They called him Beep on the streets.
And why they call him that?
Because he was so fast like the Roadrunner. They said he was gonna beep beep.
Dang it. You better listen. Listen, your father was a mighty titan, you know, and you're a beautiful Olympian, you know, so that's how it works.
Yeah, that's in the book too, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Look, me and my pops bonded. We had a rough relationship for a long time. Me and my pops bonded because we both had to do a stretch at the same time in a facility. Imagine doing that with your dad. And we had to come to terms with some things. And that's going to be in the book too. We came together. We both had DUIs. We were fucking up. And they gave us a year both at the same time for different shit.
And that's
God put us together in the jail. We wasn't tight before that. And that was in the early 2000s. That's going to be in the book too. I can't give it all away, y'all.
Listen. Here's the thing. I want artists to know who are out there, who are writers and who do screenplays and poems, who do all these things. I want you to be inspired, and I want you to explain to him the reason why he would allow you to tell his story on the screen. So listen to this amazing story in the colors and understand. Please give him a reason for him to allow you to tell his story on that screen.
And buy a skateboard, because you'll be helping a skateboarding team in Ethiopia get staffed.
Dig it.
Yeah. Soft goods and hard goods.
It's already manifested. So I already saw it. So you know how that works. You know, I'm stubborn. You know, I might be
into existence.
BigBlackBiscuit.com. BigBlackBiscuit.com.
We're gonna put all of his information on, and so basically, we wanted to give a true introduction to who's on this round table, and just to qualify ourselves. And so and the next show we're doing on Adriano, formerly AKA Adriano, newly named. Please tell us about your name and how you got it. How we're going to refer to him as. Please tell him, Adriano.
So okay, my name is just I'm going with I'm keeping a balance between my mum and my dad, really, because my mum has always called me Adriano because she's got the Spanish accent. She says Adriano, and my dad, he's got an English accent and he's always called me Chico. So I'm taking my name Chico because before now, I'm going to ask my dad, but I'm sure he'll be all right with it. But the only other person ever really to call me Chico is my dad. But I'm claiming it now. And I'm Chico. So that's the names out here. So I'm excited for the show. Yeah, show some music, show some artwork. We're going to talk some astrology. And obviously I'm going to be talking to these two amazing gentlemen right here, which is, I'm just still truly honored.
And check this out. This crown that I'm wearing right now on my head, my man Mike L, Copper Child, Mike L, he is going to chime in. He's my local conscious crystal connection. He's got the conscious crystal connection. He makes these crowns. And he said he wanted to chime in. You know, I'm getting these frequencies. I want to get a resin cube, a pyramid. What is it called with the copper inside of it?
It's like an organ.
Organ accumulator. That's what I'm working on. And we got to get that Tesla coil going.
One of those, connected to that Tesla coil.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's big things on the horizon, which I think is going to be good for us to talk about in the podcast. Like, for example, that Tesla coil is a big topic, which if people don't know about, it's very interesting stuff.
So keep going. There was something else. I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, I love that Tesla coil stuff, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt. So did you get anything additional from Basquiat
I did. Hold on 1 second. Baby, could you grab them socks that I just...
Man.
I only got a couple of seconds, baby.
2 minutes. We got 2 minutes.
Oh, we got 2 minutes.
2 minutos.
Yeah.
So,
look, these are just in. I'm sending these to you when you give me an Addy. These are when I said I make socks. I got the Basquiat socks for you.
Dig it. Can you dig it? Yes, listen. You know I love the crazy. Yes, see, and I love crazy socks. How'd you know that? My socks are crazy. I have crazy socks at the International Vision Expo. That's how they're gonna remember me. A big S in blue and black. But yes, can you dig it? Can you see that? Yes. So offline, you know, I know you got to go. We could. I want to hear what you saw because I haven't been able to look at them again. I got to wait a couple weeks before I can look at them again.
Text me an Addy on the phone or on Telegram, and I'm gonna drop these in my next outgoing mail.
Dig it. All right, gentlemen, and one more thing. For anyone who out there who's cooking, and if you're paying attention, you're gonna notice that women who've been cooking rice for 50 years can't boil rice anymore. You're gonna also notice that oodles and noodles and your ramen noodles aren't cooking the same anymore and stay hard. And you're also gonna notice that when you boil your eggs, when you try to peel them, you can't peel them, they keep peeling and sticking to the egg. Because they've already made the switch in the food, and what's that's done is designed specifically to get y'all sicker who are in that place. Just FYI. So if you're in those places called the States, they change the food.
It's gonna cut out. We gotta send the blessings. Send the blessings. It's gonna. I feel like it's gonna cut out any seconds. We can say last minute goodbyes.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it? I can dig it. Blessings.
All that I could be, was it not